Lauren Bolander, and welcome to a special edition of Up to Speed. Yesterday, we visited Sarah Fisher Racing to get a look at her new ride, and we told you that today we'd be getting a shop tour of AGR with driver Tony Kanaan, but unfortunately, TK had a scheduling conflict, and, well, fortunately for you, instead, we've got Charlie Morgan, President and COO of Indianapolis Motor Speedway Productions with us, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the IndyCar Series new television contract. Charlie, thanks for being here.
I was in the neighborhood. It's easy to be here. Thank you.
Easy to stop by.
That's right.
Okay, quickly, for the fans, explain to us in brief, if you would, what is IMS Productions' role with IndyCar Series?
I'll try to do that briefly. We really are the facilities and crew part of what you see on television. We have the large mobile television production trucks and what we in the business call the below-the-line crew. Not the on-air talent per se or some of the director and producers, but most of the people who help put that on television is us, and we travel with the teams and the league all throughout the season.
So you are working hand in hand with the league. You're based right, your neighbors right here in Indianapolis.
That's next door neighbors here. That's exactly right.
Okay, all right. Well, as we all know, in past years, ESPN and ABC have broadcast the IndyCar Series races as shows. Now, in 2009, we're going to see Versus and ABC partnering up for the schedule. How's that going?
It's been a really exciting process to get to this point. You know, we feel like we've captured the best of both worlds. ABC will have their 45th Indianapolis 500 as we enter our centennial era next year. It's one of the top 3 longest running partnerships between a sport and a television partner of any kind. So we're thrilled to continue to work with them. In addition to that, Versus is going to sort of jump in on the cable side and carry the races that ABC doesn't. And Versus, I think you're going to find, is very enthusiastic and excited about sort of jumping into our sport at a time when it's growing after unification and sort of helping people have a lot of access to the drivers and the teams.
Sure. Well, can you explain us the breakdown a little bit? ABC,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. ABC will have the Indy 500, obviously, and 4 other races. Now, the exact split of the race season hasn't been done yet, but they'll have a total of 5, and then the remaining races, which right now would be 13 other races next year, will be on Versus.
Great. Well, then, what do you think this means to the series, both long-term and short-term?
I think probably the most obvious difference will be the amount of additional programming our fans will have access to now. Versus is going to not just show the race, but they've committed to longer, we call them windows, longer time slots, if you will, for all the races. So all of them will be at least 3 hours long, which gives us more of a pre-race show, a little more time with post-race, a little more chance to talk to the drivers and understand the strategies and stories of that particular week. In addition to that, they've committed to doing a 1-hour show the day before each race that'll show highlights of the qualifications, and again, kind of tell the stories of what might be unfolding the next day in the race itself.
Sure. So, well, like right now, our typical race window, or time block, I should say, for the TV schedule is like 2.5 hours. So
2 or 2.5, kind of depends on if it's oval or road. So right now we know we're going to have at least a half hour longer, in some cases an hour longer for each broadcast.
Which, like you said, is great. We're going to probably see a lot more driver features, stuff like this. We're going to be able to kind of personalize.
We have all these new drivers who've joined us, and our feeling has always been if people get a chance to see them, I mean, look what happened with Elio as the world got to know him, not wearing his helmet and his fire suit, they fell in love with him. We think the same thing happens with so many of our drivers, and so to have that opportunity to really show them in a different light and let fans get to know them, we think is going to be really critical. And what, like I said, one of the things that the fans will notice immediately as a change that comes with this. We're also going to replay all of the races, so if for some reason, let's say you were at the race and wanted to see it again, they're going to show them during the week. Just a lot of additional coverage to our sport, which we think is terrific as, again, we're sort of broadening and expanding our reach.
Sure. Going back to you said the day before each race, we're going to have an hour that'll kind of recap whether it was practice or quals or whatever, maybe the highlights that happened. At some point in time when we see, I guess, qualifications covered in its entirety, is there room to grow for shows like that to be covered completely?
It's a great question, and I think you're going to find that Versus is really enthusiastic about those kind of things. What we've talked about now is sort of what are you obligated to do as a part of the contract. We've yet to really start having all the conversations about all the other things you can do over and above what you're promising to do. And again, they want to be a part of this. They have the NHL. They have a similar deal with the NHL, where NBC carries some of the NHL games and they carry the majority of them. So again, they are an enthusiastic partner and show a lot of extra coverage for the NHL. They have the Tour de France. I mean, we're going to be one of the most important things on the Versus lineup. One of the things that helps people get to know the Versus channel. So I think they're gonna want to show as much of our sport as they possibly can.
Sure. Well, I only ask because obviously they've seen a lot of success with qualifying being on, IndyCar.com right now. Tons of fans check in for that. Basically, as our fan base is growing, we have a really educated fan base as well. People know how this sport works, and at some point in time, they're probably going to want to see that stuff.
And one of the things that's exciting, Versus is owned by Comcast, and those guys know a whole lot about online, mobile technology. So I think not just on television, but in all of the technologies that continue to grow, they're kind of in the forefront of it and will help us develop our programming for all those distribution channels.
Then do you see some room for growth with the partnership with, well, again, the multimedia section, our online audience?
You bet.
Right here at IndyCar.com, are they going to be willing to partner up with us quite a bit?
Yeah, I think you're okay, Lauren. They certainly are. And that's part of the dialogue we've had, that a lot of people have come to know this site as a source for information. And again, I think they're excited about the fact that there's already this online destination. They want to grow and expand it and sort of utilize some of the same kinds of things we're doing on their website. Again, all in the name of growing the access to it.
All right, well, this sounds super exciting. The fans are going to have a ton to look forward to next season with all the new programming.
Thanks, Lauren.
All right, Charlie, thanks for stopping by here
You're
at Up to
welcome.
Speed. We certainly appreciate it. And for IndyCar.com, I'm Lauren Bolander with the help of Charlie Morgan. You guys are up to speed.